Hi. This next segment is going to be about rabbit reproduction. It's central if you're raising rabbits that you be able to breed them. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you about how that works out. Alright, now these rabbits down here are about 8 weeks old, 2 months. When they get to be older, 6 months old, then you can start breeding them. For this large breed of New Zealand white, 6 months works. Alright, what you do is you take a doe, like one of these does, that large doe right there, or this doe right there, and you take her out of her cage, and you put her into the buck's cage. This is my buck down here. He's a very excited rabbit, and he often gets that way because whenever I open his cage, he thinks he is going to have a doe be put in there with him. So, anyway, once that's done, wait about an hour and breed them again. And the reason that you do that is because you want to ensure that the buck hit his mark the first time. So just wait an hour and put him back in. Put him back in there. No use waiting 8 hours and then doing that again. Some people say that 8 hours later the eggs have released, but that's true, but it'll also take another 6 hours for the sperm to reach the eggs, so it's really no help at all to do that. Alright, so once you've done that, it is helpful to next maintain records, which are very important. Each doe gets a card. Alright, so this is a card for Bertha. She is a New Zealand white. She was bred to one of my rabbits named Paul on the 29th, or on the 20th. I palpated her on the 2nd, and she needs a next box on the 16th. And then what I'll do is I'll write down when she had her babies, how many she had, how many made it to 8 weeks old. It's important to have records. You can't just go on your memory when it comes to rabbits. You really need to know when they were bred, when the nest box is due, and all that kind of stuff. So, how do the dates work? Alright. Once you breed the rabbit, and you check to make sure that they look healthy and all that, once you breed the rabbit, it'll be 30 days before they have babies. On day 27 or 28, you need to put a nest box in their nest, and you can see her in their cage. This is an example of a nest box right here. Look up online for the dimensions for a large rabbit nest box, but I believe this sucker, the front of it is 6 or 7 inches high. It is 12 inches long and something like 9 or 10 inches wide and 9 or 10 inches tall. The reason it's 9 or 10 inches wide, 9 or 10 inches tall is because mainly my doors are 12 by 12 inches, and you don't want to build nest boxes that do not fit inside the cage. These are all built out of plywood with screws. Rather simple design. If you just see one, you could probably make it. Alright, once you put the nest box in there with the rabbit on day 27 or 28, the mom will put off some of her fur and put it in the nest box. You can see back there that this mom has done that. She hasn't had her babies yet. She's going to have them in a day or two. There's a bunch of fur back there, and she's going to put her babies in there, and they're going to get all warm underneath the fur, because when they're born, they're not precocial. They are very fragile, almost in utero type animals with no fur, and they can't see, and they won't see for 10 days. Alright, you keep the nest box in there. You'll remove it in 3 weeks if it's warm weather, 4 weeks if it's cold weather, and then at 4 weeks old you can move the rabbits out of their cage and put them into another cage, as I've done here, where they can all live together. You can rebreed the mom the day after she's had her babies, but it's really best probably to wait 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe even 4 before you rebreed her. That way she has a chance to recover, and she'll be ready to go soon after that. Okay, well, I'm sure that's not everything, but that's what I could think of right now as far as breeding rabbits, and that's the segment on reproduction.